Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the program. Happy Ramadan to you. I am Ali Coleman. I'll be your host for the program. Today's health topic, we're going to be looking at the miracle of the Holy Quran revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In particular, we're going to be looking at some of the verses that specifically detailed in great detailing the sequence of creation. We're going to be looking at how life was created, detailed to Prophet Muhammad by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over 1400 years ago. Science is demonstrating that the revelation in the Holy Quran agrees with our modern understanding, with advanced instruments to understand the details of how life is formed in the womb of every woman that brings birth, gives birth to each one of us. We're going to be joined to open this discussion by a doctor. He is an ENT professor at Ain Shams University here in Cairo, Egypt. This is Dr. Mohammed El Bigarmi. Assalamu alaikum to you, doctor, and welcome to the program.
Welcome. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be here with you.
All right. So, Dr. Mohammed, we're talking about a miracle, one of the miracles of the Holy Quran.
Yes.
That Allah revealed to Muhammad so many deep truths about human life.
Yes.
And one of them, just one of them we're going to be focusing on today, is a detailed explanation of the stages of the development of human beings in the womb.
Yes. Fetus.
Please, yes, the fetus. Please open up this subject for us. Help us to understand this.
God first said that سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق ولم يكفي بربك أنه على كل شيء شهيد. That we will show them our signs in the universe and their own selves or own themselves, and until it became manifest to them that this is the Quran, is the truth. Is it not sufficient in regard that your Lord or your God has, that He witness over everything? So this challenge is very long ago, and God in Al-Mu'minun, Surah Al-Mu'minun, said, we created وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ سُلَالَةٍ مِنْ طِينٍ. And indeed, we created man, or Adam, the first man, out of extract of clay. If we take a piece of clay, analyze it, and piece of human body, and we will find a great similarity in the oxygen content, about 63%, carbon 20%, hydrogen 10%, nitrogen 2%, and so on. Even trace elements is the same as clay and as the same as earth. Also, then God comes to the next step. ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين. Thereafter, we made human as a drop or nutfa. Nutfa means a small drop.
Excuse me, doctor, is this the verse that you're referring to here?
Yes.
Okay, so the viewers can follow along.
Yes.
And you also have on this slide the breakdown of the different proportions that you were just talking about.
Yes, the next slide. Yes, this was the first slide.
The first slide,
the next slide. The next slide is ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين, that we made him in a safe lodging. And I prefer another translation, enabled settlement. This is more close to qarar makin, enabled settlement or safe lodging. So this brings many questions. What is a nutfa? What's the meaning of nutfa? What are the types of nutfa? And what is the enabled settlement? It was mentioned in Quran in 2 sites. So I think these 2 sites are different from each other. If we have the next slide, a drop means a tiny drop of fluid, nutfa. So we have a male tiny drop or sperm. We have a female tiny drop or ovum, and we have mixed tiny drop, which is a fertilized ovum. These were all referred in the Quran.
Yes.
For example, if we first came to the male tiny drops, it was first seen the semen or the seminal fluid, the sperms were first seen when the microscope was invented at 1673 by this was invented by Leeuwenhoek at that time. He saw the sperm. Then another person came and made an imaginary photo for the sperm. This called the Hartsucker at 1694. He imagined that the sperm, there is a full body in this sperm, and the sperm that is non-developed human, when he comes to the womb, then he becomes a human being. And there are several mistakes in this imagination.
Okay, doctor, can we talk a little bit about this?
This is the first when the sperm was seen, and this is the first microscope by Leeuwenhoek, which was invented at 1673. And if we can, next slide.
Before we move, I see 4 different slides, slide A, B, C, and D.
These are the different magnifications of the sperm when they first saw them. And different from different animals and different creatures.
So was this model of the sperm created?
Next, it was actually the model is in the next slide.
In the next slide, okay.
After 2 slides.
They'll bring it up in just a second.
They imagined that the sperm contains a full embryo. And he is just implanted in the womb and get larger.
So sorry, Dr. Mohammed, you're saying that early scientists, European scientists, believed that the entire life form was in the sperm.
Yes. Yes.
Obviously incorrectly.
Yes, this is incorrectly. And the Quran, 1400 years before, corrected this imagination or these ideas. These are the sperm seen in the under the microscope, and then
this obviously cannot be seen with the plain eye, the naked eye.
Yes.
You need at least how much magnification?
About 100 times here.
100
and
times.
Sometimes we have thousands of times with electron microscopy. So the details are not apparent here. The details were revealed later on after invention of the electron microscopy. The mistake in this imagination, the first that embryo developed from the sperm only. But God said, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى. Mankind, we have created you from a male and female. So this appeared, or the first correction, that both male and female share in forming this embryo. The second mistake, that he believed that the embryo is fully developed in the sperm. He just grow inside the womb. But the Quran said, no, ما لكم لا ترجون لله وقارا وقد خلقكم أطوارا. He has created you in stages, not a full embryo that grows. No, in stages that develop until a full embryo or a full human being comes. And then, and this is the wrong, actually, here in the side of the of this slide.
This is the illustration.
Is the imaginary sperm by Hartsucker. He imagined that it contains a full embryo standing like that inside, and this is actually wrong. The next slide shows the electron microscopic.
So we'll get a lot of details with the next one,
which are very different. But the Quran cited that it develops from a male and female, and it develops as stages, which is actually later on.
Here's the electron microscope.
Yes, this is electron microscopic view of the sperm or the male nutfa. Then we will cause the sperm is the cause of defining also the sex of the embryo, because any human cell contains two sex chromosomes. The female has two X chromosomes,
Yes.
and the male had one X and one Y chromosomes. When they divide, they give the female give only one type of ova containing X chromosome.
Yes.
And the man gives two types of sperms, one containing X and one containing Y. If the X united with the ovum, it will be a female.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the male contribution to the formation of life the dominant, the determining factor.
Determining factor in the sex.
Okay.
Male or female. And this was referred in Quran also. وأنه قال تعالى in النجم سورة النجم وأنه خلق الزوجين الذكر والأنثى من نطفة إذا تمنى. And he, Allah, created the pairs, male and female, from a male nutfa when it is ejaculated or emitted.
From the male, okay.
Yes. So this is because the ejaculated nutfa is the male. He said from the nutfa as it is ejaculated, and ejaculated is the male. And also, one of, I think, of the greatest miracles in Quran, that the referral of where the sperm forms.
Doctor, sorry to interrupt you. We are ready for our first break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Muhammad, talking about the miracles in the Holy Quran revealed over 1,400 years ago, detailing the formation of human life in the womb of the mother at a microscopic level. He's going to be addressing the issue when we come back from a short break. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the program. We will continue our discussion, inshallah, with Dr. Muhammad El-Bigrami. He is an ENT professor and also an author of a book, How Do We Speak, on a different subject entirely related to the science of how we speak. But today we're focusing on how Allah revealed the details of how human beings are formed in the womb. Before the break, doctor, you were giving us information from the Holy Quran about the formation. Can you continue where you left off?
Yes, one of the miracles of Quran in Surah Al-Tariq, that he mentioned the origin of the sperm, where they form originally. Modern science showed that the ovary and the testis are developed in the renal angle, what we call urogenital ridge between the backbone and the ribs. And there is a statement in the Quran stated that فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر. Let's man see from what he was created. He was created from water gushing forth, proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs. This is a miracle because the literate, just the primary meaning of a solb in Arabic means the backbone. The tara'ib means the ribs. And there also another literature miracle in this.
Is this the photograph of?
Yes, this is where the form the testis. It is formed in the renal angle between the ribs and the backbone and descend in the downwards to form.
I want to understand the left. I can make out and understand the right, but the left is it looking down through?
No, the left is a section in the embryo, and it shows the backbone, the blue one, and the ribs on the left side. So it is a section else.
Okay. Can we get that image back that we had a second ago? Here it is. Here it is.
This is a section here. The blue one is the notochord, which forms the spinal cord.
I see. Okay.
And the bulging red part is the urogenital ridge or the renal angle in the renal angle, and the developing bone will be on this side. The developing rib will be on the side.
Okay.
So it develops in this. And there is also a metaphor in this linguistic. They didn't imagine in the Arabs at that time that it will comes from this angle. So the metaphor is that they were referring to the male as the backbone. They call he is coming from the backbone of a man. So it was just a metaphor. And referring to the female as a rib. So if you can just one statement and give two correct meanings, one in the 14 centuries ago understand as one meaning which is correct, and here in the 21st century we understand it with another meaning which is correct, is actually it is a linguistic miracle beside the
physical
miracle. Yeah. And I think this is a marvelous and I think the next step, ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين. Then thereafter we made a human a drop or nutfa in a safe lodging or enabled settlement. And this is a picture of the ovary. The ovary, why I think that the ovary is an enabled settlement or safe lodging, because first in the Quran he added it with the word thumma, which means addition letter, but long time thereafter, after some time, and then before it hangs, and he said it before it hangs in the womb. So it should be a stage before hanging in the womb. So I believe that this enabled settlement means the ovary. If I say to you in the womb it remains 9 months, it is an enabled settlement. But if I say to you that the ovary, do you think, I'll just give some questions. The ovum is formed at puberty, which is several years before having a baby. It would be called actually much earlier. At birth, no, it is much earlier. She is developed in the 3rd month, while the mother is still an embryo in her mother's womb.
Yes, okay.
So it is an enabled settlement that remains 15 to 40 years before coming out.
I see.
And,
I see. Yeah.
So if you call the womb for 9 months, it is enabled settlement.
No. Much longer. Much longer.
In this statement, because it is mentioned in another verse in the Quran, although, but in the second verse it means the womb. So why I call this, that is in this ayah in Surah Al-Mu'minun, I think it is the enabled settlement here. The for the womb, this is here how the ovary enabled settlement. Then we come to the womb. If we
and just before we leave the ovary, I want to make sure we stress what you're saying is that the ovary is developed while the young fetus.
Yes.
At 3 months, you said?
At 3 months,
3 months
of age, not after birth. After being
conception.
After conception.
Okay. So
in her mother's
while
womb,
still
while
yes.
she is still infant.
Yes.
Or still embryo.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. The embryo of the mother contains a fully developed ovum.
Yes. Okay.
This is maybe. The second enabled settlement is the womb. The womb, God says in سورة المرسلات ألم نخلقكم من ماء مهين فجعلناه في قرار مكين. Did we create you from the spiced water sperm? This is the spiced water is a sperm or the ejaculated. فجعلناه في قرار مكين. Then we placed it in an enabled settlement. You know, in this part, it is separated by the additional letter F, fa, or which then it refers to a very small time. So when the sperm is ejaculated in the womb, it hangs and after a short time, it's settlement in the womb. So I think this is the womb in this statement. Also, this is here from the linguistic point of view, if the undefined words, if I say enabled settlement, not the enabled settlement. The enabled settlement means that this enabled settlement different from the second one. And there is dalil or in Quran, inna ma'al usri yusra, inna ma'al usri yusra. That God said that with every hardship there is a relief. And with the hardship there is a relief. The hardship was preceded by the. So the hardship in the first verse is the same as the second verse. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said two reliefs will not conquer, one hardship will not conquer two reliefs. That is the relief because it is undefined, so there are two, different two. So qarar makin or enabled settlement are undefined words, so it may mean another place or another meaning.
Okay, can we have the picture back? Okay, here's...
this is another statement for the womb. As we are describing the womb, God said, الله يعلم ما تحمل كل أنثى وما تغيض الأرحام وما تزداد وكل شيء عنده بمقدار. Allah knows that every female bears, what every female bears, and how much the wombs become shallow, that's fall short, and how much they increase or flood. Everything with him in due proportion. And this is how the mucosa of the womb become at first after the menstruation very shallow. And with the effect of hormone, it increases gradually until the next menstruation.
All right, so what you're saying is that this
Here,
is the surface of the womb.
Is the surface of the womb.
And it's showing the
shallow on the left side at the beginning, immediately after menstruation.
And the Quran
and
revealed
the Quran
this.
said, ما تغيض الأرحام وما تزداد. That the wombs increase and decrease. They flood and become shallow or become, and this was actually the description. Shallow at the early of the months, then increase gradually at the end of the month.
Yes.
If conception occurs, this will be very thick for just preparing for conception. But if it didn't occur, then it becomes again shallow,
Wow.
and the circulation is repeated.
Doctor, the detail is chilling. It gives us chills to see and understand this level of detail. We have run out of time for today. I hope we can have you back, inshallah, to continue this. We have more that we need to discuss. This is Dr. Muhammad El-Bigrami. He is an ENT professor at Ain Shams University here in Cairo, Egypt. Also an author of a book, How Do We Speak? A separate subject dealing with the science of how we speak. Dr. Muhammad, thank you so much for being with us. Inshallah, we'll have you back to join us to continue the discussion.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you viewers for tuning in. We hope inshallah to have the doctor back to continue this discussion about the miracles of the Quran, how they give details about the growth of the human beings in the womb. We will close out our segment for today. Inshallah, we'll be back with more in-depth discussions of various health topics for your understanding for the holy month of Ramadan. Thank you for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.